Johnny Fox, and you're watching FANCAST. A little bit different this week, something a bit special. With the help of some very special guests, I'm going to FANCAST a live-action Thundercats movie. How cool is that? You may agree, you may not agree. Some of the things we come up with, that's not the point. We're just here to have fun, have a chat, fangirl over the cats. Hey!
Hey, hey!
Good
Evening.
afternoon!
Hello.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boys who used to be girls, girls who used to be boys, children of all ages. Johnny Fox, in association with Snicked, proudly presents to you your heavyweight tag team champions of the world, the Parker Brothers.
Good evening, all.
So,
hello.
First things first, as I said, we, the three of us, and feel free to chip in the comments, fire away. We'll probably ignore you. We might get, around to looking at a few at the end.
We'll be too busy.
We're going to get a bit busy, but hopefully you'll enjoy listening and telling us how wrong we are with every decision we come up with. So, the Thundercats.
Yes.
The Thundercats, the OG Thundercats, the 1985 Thundercats we're going to base this on.
As old as I am.
A little bit of background for anybody. The Thundercats. I say 1985 in the US, 1987. Those poor kids in the UK had to wait a little while before
we loved it.
We got. Sorry?
We loved it though.
Oh yes.
We did.
We did.
I left He-Man for it.
Was animated in Japan and then voiced over in the US, which if you go watch it back, of course it was. It's so obvious now. You were watching anime before you knew what anime was, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Really, which I think gave it that little edge, looked a little, I'm not going to say better, I'm going to say different.
It made it stand out from the others.
Yeah, to He-Man and the other obvious choices of the day, which we also loved.
Yes.
The other big difference, I think, at the time with Thundercats, and I'm going to go with He-Man again, is while it still had a little smell of the after-school special, just say no kids kind of elements, it was a lot more narrative focused than a lot of the tunes we got back then were, let's be honest, they were 20-minute advertisements for the toys.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that in its own way. Thundercats, however, did shy away a lot less from actually having lore and world building and return, like a lot of just one-off episodes for the sake of it with one-off characters. They would keep continuity. Characters would return. They we keep bumping into the mole people every time they go underground for any reason and shit like that, which we probably didn't appreciate all that much at the time, but now you realize, oh, that's why I was so engaged. It's not just how hot Chitara was, honestly. It was
not just that reason.
It was the
7.
story.
I didn't even like girls then.
Well, exactly. There was the next bit of trivia. There is the notorious naked episode 1 Thundercats.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently on Thundera, it was like an almost.
This is something that always gets me. They're not naked, the Thundercats. Is your cat naked upstairs? Is your dog naked? No. You're putting human morals on a species that doesn't even exist. They are not naked. They're covered with fur. You can't see anything. It's not erotic. It's just cats.
Yes, and especially when you're 6, 7.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not on your mind. That's just not the issue. It's like, they're like cats, but they're people, but there's a spaceship, but fuck, whoa!
The walking, talking cats, that's all you were interested in.
Yeah.
what they were wearing didn't matter. When they got the clothing, you then went, they look even cooler now. Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a reverse Superman thing. It's like as they're escaping their dying planet, where they apparently didn't need to wear clothes because why would you? But they didn't. Apparently, when they crash on the new planet, they somehow may be more vulnerable than they were back on Thundera, so they create these armor. It's not particularly armored looking; it's more just clothes. But some reason they decide we might need that in this place. Maybe just because it could be more dangerous. They don't know what's there. They don't really go into it that deeply, but it is referenced, which is, again, you wouldn't even get that reference in some of the other shit back then. So, another bit of... So, this was 4 seasons of a total of 130 episodes of that original series, which is a pretty good fucking run.
Yeah. When you think that some cartoons barely made it past a couple of episodes, but yeah, that's a good number. It's a good run.
That is a good run, and of course a movie that isn't really a movie. It's a bunch of episodes,
4 or 5 episodes condensed and then released on video.
Yeah. So kind of these. Yeah, it's like the season 1 abridged, kind of a highlight.
To be fair,
thing to get you
I have 2 Thundercat movies. One is just the first 4 episodes, and one is the return of the other Thunderans. Yeah, and they're both movies, but they're just episodes.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's a regular anime thing. It happens to a lot of series get movies that aren't really movies. And I don't know if you know this, but Larry Kenny, the voice of Lion-O, actually the only actor to appear in all 3 iterations of the Thundercats.
I know it's Claudius in the 2011, isn't it?
That's right. Yep. He's Lion-O in the original, and then he's Lion-O's dad in the Will Friedle 2011.
Yep.
And then I think he plays Jagger, or like a similar character to Jagger, in the very, very children-aimed Thundercats Raw, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like so he's almost kind of like the Peter Cullen of Thundercats, but not how he is Optimus Prime forever. He wasn't Lion-O forever, but they thought
he's always cool there. To
keep getting him in there, and that's a cool thing. I like that they did that. We won't probably be putting Larry Kenny in our live-action version, although
we could squeeze him in somewhere. I'm sure.
Give him a cameo.
Yeah, I'm sure if he's up for it, I'm sure there's some kind of random Easter egg we could find a way.
Yeah.
So so big fans all.
Love it.
Did we have the toys? Many of the toys. Were we spoiled enough to get the toys?
Still have toys. Yes. But they're as you established other episode we are I play with them. They're not collectibles. They're my toys. They come out as giants in Dungeons and Dragons and stuff when I'm playing with miniatures. It's like, it's Lion-O, it's Mumra. What are you going to do? He's just 40 feet tall in this reality.
Yeah, if memory serves, there were some pretty fucking good figures around.
They were hardy. They were, I mean, the ones that are still sort of lurking around nowadays are as good and as sturdy now as they ever have been. They're not ones that really broke like your He-Mans or your G.I. Joe's, Action Force, whatever you call them. You know, not
wear and tear through playing your He-Mans. The legs used to snap off because of the elastic band that kept them together. My Hordak doesn't even stand up anymore. He's got frog legs because the elastic has gone funny.
Even the attack levers on the back of them. They're still functional. They're still...
My monkey and still swings his nunchucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had kind of the basics. I think I had like a Lion-O, a Mumra, maybe 1 or 2 vehicles. Didn't have the tank though. The Legendary Thunder tank.
I didn't have the Thunder tank, but I had the Fist Pounder, the mutant equivalent.
Yeah, but yeah, a kid. a kid I haven't seen for decades, kid I used to knock around with at the time, he had like everything. Going around to his house was fucking awesome because he had everything. Thundercats.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always have memories of they were good, like good likenesses, and like they sturdy, whereas some others were not so much. Just good shit. Just a good franchise, good memories. There's every reason why it's kind of still a thing. People are still rocking the t-shirts just with the like almonds symbol on and shit like that. It's still very much on people's minds. Yet, and I believe the idea of a live action movie is like on and off and on and off. It's somebody somewhere is like sat around a table pitching this thing. Probably as we speak. But all the advances in technology and everything else, but we still haven't got it. There's the superhero backlash, fatigue, whatever right now. So maybe right now, not the best time to be pitching a Thundercats movie.
Pitch it as a fantasy rather than a superhero. As you were saying, we have a serious lack of decent fantasy movies, and I love fantasy movies and sword and sorcery. Pitch it that way. Yeah, it's sword and sorcery, but it's got tech in it as well. It's all just magic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's again another great thing. It's science fiction. It's like mutants. It's magic. It's swords. It's scary creatures. Mumra is a fucking badass villain.
Mumra's terrifying.
It's genuinely.
When you look at so terrifying, he's even afraid of himself.
True. Yeah. There's a bit of martial arts thrown in there, and it's but what's not to like? It's an easy sell. Come on. Even easier by the time we're done here.
Yeah.
And we come to some kind of cohesive decision.
That's it. We just need the budget, and then we can make it.
Honestly, how easy or difficult did you guys find this? Obviously, some characters will be easier than others. Some like probably.
But to be fair, one or two, I was just straight in like that guy is who I wanted for that character, and then others I was sat there going, but who could? I'm not big on modern cinema, so I was like, what about this guy? Oh no, he's dead and he's 87 years old. What about this? Oh no, he's 75 years old. She's 55, so she's no good. I'm sure she's very good at what she does, but for these roles, probably 55 is a bit much.
Yes, because so I have no like rules as such, but the framework that we're working to here, dear listeners, viewers, is we're basing it mainly on the original 85 version, and we're casting it as though we were going to make it right now, like 2024, 2025. So, as Stu's just said, some people will be counted out because they're too old or even dead or whatever. Legendary people that are so obvious that we'd love. If we had more of a dream cast, don't sue me, Sega, please. I didn't mean that. If we had more of just a dream wish list, it would be completely different. But we're going to try and do it somewhat realistically, and we're also doing it with a ridiculous fantasy budget that we're kind of keeping the CGI to a minimum. And we're trying to cast people who can actually perform these roles with a bit of body paint and prosthetics and that kind of shit. Like
practical effects, puppetry, matte paintings. That's what we're doing.
If you're up for this job, Mr. Actor, actress, you're gonna be spending 10 hours a day in makeup. You got to be just give Ron Perlman a ring and ask him what it's like. He'll be like, oh, it's okay, it's cool.
You'll be looking at my list.
So
yes, of course, you got to get the face Ron Perlman in.
Yeah, and how did you find like trying to resist the urge to try and get all your favorite actors in one film versus actually finding, the right actor who suits.
I found that quite easy.
Yeah, to be fair,
Because
I
I
know I
love
couldn't
it.
cast Arnold Schwarzenegger and Kevin Bacon in every role,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I spread it out a bit. Why is that one Patrick Wilson as well?
Right. Shall we go? Who wants to go first?
Right. Well,
let's go with let's do.
let me
let's
let me name a character for you, and whether they're on your list or not, tell me your first thoughts of who you'd cast.
Yeah.
So
we've gone right down the road.
Yeah, so the first one out there, proper curveball, Hatchy Man.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I have been rewatching it to refresh the old memory.
Yeah. So,
but I couldn't. I didn't. I really, really struggled with it. I have to say, even just going through the basics, the obvious kind of core cast members. But I honestly found myself struggling a lot.
Well,
so going into the supporting roles,
I mean, well, obviously, me and Stuart have discussed a couple of our choices. We've kept a lot of it secret, but this is one that we immediately unanimously said, well, there's only one choice. And apologies if I mispronounced the name or anything like that, but Hiroyuki Sanada would be just the prime choice to say, right, for that archetype of a samurai type warrior, let's have Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And I don't think we could argue and say, well, is there a better choice than that actor for that character? So he gets my vote straight away. I'd say we send him a contract.
Yep, he's in. Got to have that sword fight above the Thunderanium pits.
Good call.
Thundercutter versus the Sword of Omens. I want to see that on the big screen.
Yeah.
So
what about
that's you two in agreement with us? You two with the same choice for that, then, right?
Yeah, I think that's
one of the few that we are the same choice. Some others we discussed and then went, well, I'll change mine then, and you change yours for your second choices. So I think that's the only one we agreed completely on. But we've kept it quite secret between ourselves. Okay. Sat at the other end of the don't look at my answers.
So from an outlier, let's pull it back to a core member then next, and let's take Jagger off the list.
Oh.
Jagger, kids, is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the Thundercats. He's the elder master,
the mentor,
warrior, leader. Snuffs it in the first episode. Keeps coming back in blue ghost form.
Yeah, he becomes Force Ghost.
Was to help Lionel as and when he needs it, with great little like fortune cookie bits of advice and shit. So
it's conscious moments, isn't it? Like I always remember the bit in the first one where Lionel's like, "Oh look, a deer! I'm gonna catch that and eat it." He's like, "You're not even hungry. Don't waste your time. Don't kill that life just because you want to. Don't be a dick." And he keeps cropping up every now and again with tidbits of, "Oh yeah, I remember this from 300 years ago, and I can tell you about this, Lionel. So don't go in there."
So it should be one of the lesser sort of physical roles that we need to cast. So what have we got?
Who wants to go first?
Who have you got?
Who have I got for Jagger? This was a weird one. I had a guy straight away. I was like, I know what I want. And then the longer it just sat on my list, and I'm looking at people for other roles and shit like that, I then racked up like about 6, 7 different names, and it started for Jagger, and it started getting like, well, that'd work. I think that'd work. I think that's a little outside the box, but I like it, And then I started agonizing over it till we got to literally like about an hour ago, where I was like, which one do I pick? And I've gone back to the first choice. Like I said, to be honest, I struggled with most of this, where a lot of the choices I have are by no means like locked in. Like I'm not going to argue that much against someone saying, "Oh, I think it should be someone else." I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
I like my mutant choices more than I like my Thundercat core choices. To be honest, I'd be happy to let those go, but my mutant choices, I love my mutant
I feel quite confident with my Thundercats, and it's my villains that I'm open for discussion on, and I could be swayed on the villains and the mutants and Mumra and things like that, but my Thundercats I'm quite strongly behind. So for me, sorry, John.
No, sorry.
Who did you choose for Jaga?
Yeah, so my Jaga, after much deliberation, started, moved on, and then came back to James Cromwell.
Oh, that's good. Ooh.
I don't even know who that is.
It's got,
what's he from?
Captain Stacy.
From
Garfield's Spider-Man. And obviously something that you need always mind, and a whole bunch of other great shit. But in the realms of our sort of geekdom type things, Captain Stacy is probably the one.
Yeah. Now I know what you mean.
Yeah. See, I went for, and I pretty much went to this guy straight away and thought he's my guy, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, it was one of one of the 7-8 long list.
Yeah, I mean, there's other guys that I could potentially see playing that character, but he's one of those actors that I do like, and I've never disliked one of his portrayals in any role. So yeah, J.K. Simmons for me.
And I went for my first choice for Jaga, Stephen Lang.
Oh.
Of Don't Breathe and Avatar.
Yeah.
So I thought he's old enough to pull it off, but he's also terrifying that he would do everything he said.
Yeah. So that's the thing that me and Stuart have discussed this. When you think about Thundercats and Thunderians as a race, they are cats. They are predatory creatures, so they have to have an imposing side as well as a placid sort of.
Yeah, but it's a nice. Well, it's like also we were saying, are we casting this as PG-13 MCU style, or are we doing it for people of our generation? So make it really soft R or something. Put some more violence in it. You know, are they going to be like aggressive and physical with each other and pushy and roaring with teeth and prosthetics? Oh, it's going to be grand. But you need somebody, like you said, who can be both the humanoid part, but then also the cat bit that has that bit to be able to turn
side
and be like, yeah, that's an intimidating creature. Even as an old man, he's still much more terrifying than any standard human would be.
Well,
what do we do? What do we do with that?
Let's go for a villain.
Choices. All good.
So this one, like I say, I'm not 100% on him, but he's a guy that I would like to see have a crack at the whip. A Vulture Man, Benicio del Toro. Bit out there, I know, but I just thought with such he's got some range to him, and Vulture Man could be made to be a very creepy, strange character, and I think he would do very, very well as him.
Yeah, that's the thing. When casting Del Toro, it doesn't matter. It's almost like I'd cast him as Chitara. I'd cast him as Wonder Woman. I'd cast him as R2-D2. I'd be like, it's okay. He'll make it work. I'll just give him the script. He'll find a way. You know.
He'll find a way.
That's just the kind of incredibly underrated dude that he is. Been around a long time. This is just to keep on track for anyone. Benicio del Toro. You may know him as the Collector from the Guardians movies. You might know him from a brief appearance in the Star Wars sequels. A brief but kind of important role in the Star Wars sequels.
I thought
But yeah,
He was really good in The Wolfman, that is him, innit?
You know.
Yeah, same with The Wolfman. Yeah,
I enjoyed
What's
that.
it? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Terrified in that.
It's great in that film.
That one, Way of the Gun. Is that one of his?
Yeah.
The Gun with Ryan Felipe.
Ryan Felipe, that's really good.
Good film.
Yeah, it's one of those fantastically diverse character actors.
Yes.
Different hairstyle, bit of face fur, different accent, and you don't realize it's him until the credits roll, and you're like, "Holy shit, that was you know."
Yeah, I know. I recognised him from somewhere.
He's that guy. So yeah, I'd go with that.
I went for my mutants are all the kind of guys who work in prosthetics. I got a set list, so I went for the old Doug Jones as Vulture Man.
Oh,
Abe Sapien, Way of Water, and the Gentleman from Buffy. You know, a kind of imposing, spooky kind of thing because it's a vulture. You know, what the vultures do is prey on carcasses, so make him spookily intimidating, but not overly massive. Just
because it's Doug Jones. So as great as Doug Jones is, and he is in everything. Well, you know, every Del Toro, every Guillermo del Toro movie, that guy casts him in everything. Like he has at least a small role, if not 7 roles, in every Guillermo del Toro movie.
Different costume, same guy.
You probably spot which one of the characters is Doug Jones, because however terrifying the makeup and like maybe the initial kind of reveal as he climbs, crawls, whatever, out of the shadows, after the initial terrifyingness, there will be that slightly camp edge. that is just always there. That's the Doug. Sneaking
just a bit of flamboyance to it, just a bit of grace, and
it's not a criticism at all.
No.
Exactly. That's why he portrayed it. Vulture Man always had that kind of squawky weirdness to him as well. Like, bird nose. And he was the only guy I could think of that could probably work with a beak.
With the beak, yeah. Well, again, 2 fantastic choices. None from me, but I could toss a coin on that one and be happy whichever way it lands. I think they both do a great job. So it's be down to scheduling and just how big as mega cash is, I guess. So we'll get one of them.
We can get for cheaper.
I imagine Doug's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Well,
but possibly busier.
But if we've got, it all depends on the budget, doesn't it? Because some of our other choices are going to cost a lot. So
but we've got it. We're good for it. We're good for it. It's fantasy. We're good for it.
Yep, that's it.
So so we've done like an outliner, a core character, another sort of outlier. I mean, hardly the most obscure character, Vulture Man, but we'll go back to it. We'll go back to the core, and let's get this out of the way, right? If we're doing the original 85, right? Let's deal with the Schnarf situation.
I was looking forward to this.
Not everybody's favorite character. They muted him in the 2011.
Turned him into a Pokemon, but I bet they sold so many more plushy versions of him that way.
I
think I even bought.
I kind of did like that version of Snarf, though. The fact that he was more animal than humanoid, like didn't have that vocalization, that talking. I did like that version. But
he's kind
that's not
of like the 3PO or the Jar Jar or the Orko or kind of a character for me. Looking at this, I wanted in my world, in my movie, I want a Schnarf. I don't want him just there for cuteness. Like I don't want to try and get some of that sweet Grogu money or anything out of Schnarf. Or neither do I really just want him there purely for comedic value. Schnarf is kind of his part nursemaid, part teacher, part squire. I think he's referred to as a squire once or twice by Lionel. Oh, we've got a we've lost you guys on my end.
There you're back.
We're back.
He's back.
So, as the kind of an old man, he's not young and cute and fluffy, and he's an old guy, and he's no doubt seen shit. You know, he's been around the nobles of the Thundercats for some time. He's entrusted with the stewardship of the young Lion-O. So, like, there's got to be more to him than some kind of, scaredy cat comedy fucking thing.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I was quite happy for a live-action voice-acted Schnarf to have some kind of personality.
Yeah.
So I was happy to cast a. It will be more of this. Be the one role that is more of a voice role. Not really having anybody crawling around on all fours or trying to stand up on the tail. I mean, if anybody wants to audition and they can actually do that, I will be fucking impressed. If you can just stand straight up on your tail.
Remember the 90s Spawn film with John Leguizamo as Clown? He spent the entire time on set walking around doing a squat, and yeah, I don't think any actor would want to squat that low to be Snarf, but hey, have a crack at the whip.
So anyway, I cast a Schnarf, but I'm going last.
Oh, okay.
I'll go first because I really struggled with Snarf. I couldn't find the right character, the right actor who could either be comedy sidekick or, like you said, steward, nursemaid. So I just went with the first name I pulled out of hat and went Jack Black for just these daft mannerisms and stuff. It's all I could think of. It drove me bonkers to Snarf. I could not do it. I could not think of anybody suitable for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And then when I was actually watching Thundercats last night, and I was watching some of Snarf's mannerisms, and I could see it. And I'm like, yeah, that's that weird nervous energy he's got. It's like, yeah, I've ruined this forever now.
See, I went for someone that's got the chops for voice acting, but has also got the ability to invoke sort of from the voice acting alone. So like we've spoke about Kevin Conroy previously, how good he was as a voice actor. Someone who's on par, but can do the comedy, can do the serious. Billy West.
Ooh.
That's who I would go for, because he's not going to be there. It's voice only. So Billy West.
Tell any kids at home who Billy West is.
It's Fry from Futurama. And I'd lose count of naming all the characters he played. I mean, you'll have seen that name in so many shows and not even thought, oh, it's that guy, it's that guy. Yeah, it was him. That voice, he did that.
No, that
wasn't he Freakazoid as well? Was that Billy West?
I want to say yes.
Yeah,
I'll double check that.
You know, that's one of those. Now I hear it, I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense. That seems so right. I went. You might consider it a little bit outside the box, because I went with my walking, talking, live action Schnarf. I went for the hardcore legend Mick Foley.
Oh my!
I shit you not. I just thought he could have so much fun with that.
Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah, just Mick Foley's voice alone. Just as soon as you think Mick Foley, you hear that voice
coming out of the cat cowl, if you will.
Somewhere between Mrs. Foley's baby boy and something a little more like every now and again, if and when required, be a little bit more Cactus Jack than I don't. One of those, you just popped in there and then it was like it wouldn't leave. No, there were no other options. I had I thought of Patton Oswalt for like 5 seconds.
You thought who? Sorry,
Patton Oswalt.
Who's Patton Oswalt? Remind me.
Oh God, he's in like everything. Do you watch the Sandman? Like
no, I've not seen that.
It's cool. I'll look him up.
stand-up comedian, actor, voice actor, so much stuff. But yeah, that lasted about 5 seconds. And somehow Mick jumped in there, elbow dropped me, right in the brain. It's
off the steel cage.
yeah, and that was it. It was done. That was one of the few.
Good. I like that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, but I'd go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him a chance. So next, I'll put anything forward.
Right. Just in case you've got anything for him. So the new Thunderians, Linkso, Pumira, and Bengali. I'm going to hit you with a triple threat. So for Linkso, I've got Donnie Yen, Pumira, Amber Midthunder, and for Bengali, Zachary Quinto. What do you think of that?
This is one we agreed on. We both cast Pumira as the same character.
Yeah,
so I had to reset
that's
them.
very good.
And I went with who's popular right now, younger Jenna Ortega, is it? Is that her name? J.K. Simmons as Linkso and Ryan Gosling as Bengali.
I like Ryan Gosling as Bengali. That's a good choice.
He can do the old, I'm quiet, I'm in the background.
Yeah.
I'm here, but I'm here. You know, Blade Runner sequel.
Yeah.
How many lines does he have in that? 7? But you know he's there. You're watching him anyway.
He's there.
That's great. Yeah.
And you didn't even think of those, did you?
There's some money in that. I can see that's some bums in seats. Putting some of those names in the trailer, on the posters as well, which is
that's it.
Always good.
I think if ever it got a green light, the Thundercats movie, it's got to be the spectacle that
it needs to be. It was when you were 7 and we were sat there going,
the Thundercats are finally going to be on the big screen. You've got to throw it,
Ray,
hundreds of millions of dollars at the budget and just say this is going to be the biggest cinema event ever, and it's got to be done right. Which is why we've got such a big budget for his actors, because we've got to cast them perfectly. So do them justice.
You see quite a few of these dude and dudettes. You never know, but they're around that age group. They just might be massive fans and would fucking crawl over broken glass to say yes and do it.
Exactly.
A lot of these people we're coming up with are kind of that era. I mean, they might not be. They might not give a shit about this kind of thing, or you might find that they are. But I saw some great suggestions. I did think about those 3 quite a bit. I thought they were like close enough to something that we should probably bring up and mention, but I really couldn't settle on. I've got a bunch of shit written down here, none of them that really hold a candle to the ones that you guys have just said. Now I'm crossing them out. As you're saying yours, I'm like, no, that's better than that one. No point mentioning that.
The thing I struggled with was, because we'd not even discussed what the script of the film was going to be, I didn't know which characters, we could squeeze them in, give them a quick cameo, but if we've got an idea of a Master Ray, that's good.
So there's some great choices. We'll
let's go back to the one.
Yeah, let's go back to the court. Let's do Panthro. Right, let's do Panthro. Panthro. Guess what kind of cat he is, kids?
The blue one.
Panthro. He's the warrior, but also the engineer.
He's the mechanic.
Wielding martial arts badass. Constantly linked to Bruce Willis. In the sort of when the Thundercats movie was on and off and on and off and on and off during the 90s, which even in Willis's heyday never really made any sense to me.
No.
But
getting typecast because it was bald. That's what it was.
You were unaware you could cut hair at the time.
Yeah.
You're either bald or you had hair. Oh, we can't shave somebody's head.
So, what do we got?
Michael J. White.
Snap.
We win.
That means it's cast benefits a snap.
the one and only name on my list.
Yes. Yeah. Same.
Like, you wanted a legitimate nunchuck wielding badass of a reasonably sort of mature age as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't averse, has some comedy chops, if people don't know this about Michael J. White as well. If you wanted to lean into any of the slightly cheesier one-liner type moments that Panthro can throw out there in the series, he can do that. It's not the kind of thing I think he'd shy away from, like, oh no, I don't want to do, kind of 80s cheese or whatever. Actually, I think he'd be so fucking up for it.
Great.
I really do think he'd be like, okay.
He's overdue something, in my opinion. He's always been great in everything I've seen him in. He was great at Spawn, even though the movie around it wasn't too good. But if I remember years ago hearing that he was going to be the Black Panther to Wesley Snipes' Blade, and I was just like, I could get behind that 100%. Yeah. And then it never happened.
I mean, I if he's not busy making the Thundercats movie, I'd have him as Spawn again. I see no reason to recast that role by all accounts. I still can't see past him. He's still not too old to be that guy at all. Al Simmons is not particularly a young man.
No.
So McFarlane is making a Spawn film. It is happening.
Yeah.
Hollywood apparently has this year to give him anything resembling a decent script, or he's going indie, he's going solo, he's got investors lined up. He's like, I'm making the fucking film.
We were on about
waiting around
this the other day. We were talking about it, saying, is it still happening? Is it a thing? Has it been greenlit? Is it just
post in limbo? What's happening with it?
But there you go. We did wonder that. We were on about
that. Todd's at the end of his rope. Hollywood has this year, or he's flying solo. I kind of half hope he goes solo.
I would as well,
to be honest. But
the animated series that they did.
He's the kind of guy he likes to have control over his projects, so he's not gonna say yes to a script for the sake of it and take the cash. He doesn't. He's been bankrupt once. He'll go bankrupt again. It's fine. He doesn't need the money right now. He's doing all right at the minute. So whatever comes of that, it'll be the right one.
Yeah.
But Spawn's another story for another day.
Who did you cast the Panthro?
My Panthro cast was completely different. Obviously, Michael J. White was on my radar, but I kind of thought he's a bit too old, and I didn't want to cast the characters quite that old. So I actually went for Winston Duke.
Oh,
yeah, from Black Panther. Yeah.
Obviously, that's who.
No,
I wanted someone he can do that caring side, but he's very imposing at the same time. And against my other casted characters, I thought he would have looked the part as that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Michael J. White's very intimidating, but he's intimidating against anyone, like in comparison. Whereas with my other ones, I didn't want him to stand up too far and be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
Thundercat. I wanted him to have that. It's not that scary, but he can be. I think. But
that's a good call. Very good call.
That's it.
No.
Right. What about Tigra?
Tigra. Patrick Wilson.
See, I went Patrick Wilson.
I've got
nice.
Patrick Wilson as my Tigra.
Okay. I went Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah, that works. I
went Luke Evans.
Around that idea as well. Yeah.
Luke
Evans, Bard from The Hobbit.
Luke Evans.
Or Dracula.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder both these could flip it. We don't.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't be thought.
Everyone always forgets that Tiger's a bit of a junkie. There's 2 episodes that deal with addiction. He's eating the fruit of turkey, and there's another one. I forget. He's in some cave or something, and he's jonesing for something else. It's a ring or something he's got.
He's got a very addictive personality.
Yeah, he's got a very addictive personality. Tiger. It's a very strange, deep character.
Yeah.
Can I have some more fruit, Silky?
Right. While we're still on them, then Wily Kit and Wily Cat.
I struggled.
Right now, you see this.
I struggled.
This was this was a huge headache. I was like, how young do I go? You know?
Yeah.
Like the younger I go, the harder it gets. I just don't watch too much shit that involves young children to know the good young upcoming actors out there, particularly. So I kind of thought, not entirely sure how old the characters are kind of supposed to be, and then even like they seem like maybe about the same age as Lionel was before the cryo sleep, so maybe they're about 12 or so, I think it's stated. But they do come off kind of teenagery as well at times with the hijinks. So I kind of thought, as long as I keep it sort of like early 20s max, and maybe if like body type, they're relatively kind of small, lithe people. I could probably get away with going up to sort of mid-20s. Perhaps, and if they have they embody the right sort of youthful energy and shit that are needed in the portrayal, then I could go for that and try and broaden the range of people I was looking at.
That's what I did. I literally put in actors under 25, scanned down everybody. I found them all to be too old, so I then changed it to 20, and I instantly saw 2 I wanted. Just cast them from, I've seen things you've done. I know who you are. You can have the part. So I cast Jack Dylan Grazer as Cat. You'll know him from Shazam. He's his best mate.
He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he's got that youthful energy. He's kind of pranky already. He's going to be great. And then I went
Shazam, he was the thing that he was the big takeaway that I had from Shazam. I enjoyed it overall, but I was like, I want to see more shit with that kid.
Yeah.
And then my Kit, I went for Bella Ramsey, who was the little queen in Game of Thrones, the little girl who was like boss straight away, and she was like 7, but now she's about 19. I thought she's got good screen presence, even as a small Thunderian, she'll be able to rule any scene she's in.
Okay.
Nicely done.
I went for just for mainly, well, not mainly because, but I wanted actors that have already had experience working together, because they're very much a duo and they've got to have that chemistry and familiarity with each other. So I went for Finn Wolfhard and Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, Mike and Max.
Yeah.
That's what I went for.
Finn Wolfhard is a kid I'm watching his career with great interest. He's growing on me all the time. Every time I see him something, he's definitely on a learning curve and improving every time. And he just has that X factor. He has a certain charisma about him already, sort of relatively tender age. And I hope he's just due for bigger and bigger, better things constantly. I also thought about chemistry, thought about people who already have experience being together. The first thing I had to do was, I've just been watching the Percy Jackson series, which nobody's talking about, of the kind of this year.
I did put it on my planner after your last conversation.
The last sort of 12 months of TV shows we've had, like the last whatever the last Star Wars was, the Rosario Dawson one, or Echo, or whatever. It's like the one series nobody's talking about, and it's probably the best. Like the narrative, the tone, it works all the way through. There's no random like craziness or anything. It's just really, really well done. And the main kid, Percy, from that he's another one. He's just fucking phenomenal. He was in the Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah,
not the best film in the world, but when a young kid almost steals the show in a comedy from Ryan Reynolds, he's got something. You know,
something there.
So I was trying to not just cast the kids from Percy Jackson because it's on my mind. I'm just watching. I'm going, all these kids are great. All these kids are bright futures. I love all these kids. They're my favorite kids. Because I'd be controversial, but generally speaking, you know, young American actors sort of under the age of 20. Certainly, if you go down to like this kid's genuinely is like 14 or 15, I think. They tend to just be incredibly fucking annoying. And you let them off. You know, they're young, they'll learn. Everybody's got to start somewhere. He's still a better actor than me, you know, so you kind of let it slide, but you don't want
they all seem to have
to get bigger parts.
For American actors at that age, they all seem to have very much that theatre overactingness to it, which just irritates me. I think, like, no, tone it down a bit. You're on film now. You don't have to go, and all over gestures and things like that. That's my problem with a lot of the young actors. But you do every now and again get one that go, you've got it, you get it.
I think
you pull it back a bit.
I think some of the names you guys have come up with, and I think what we're in for, we're in for some good times in the future. I think there's quite a swath of younger, seemingly at this point, unless they like hit that wall and just never seem to go any further or whatever. But there seems to be like good things in the future. There's a bunch of, like you say, under 20s, or certainly up to sort of 25 and under actors, actresses that are knocking it out of the park, that are putting in work that seems beyond their years. So hopefully there's the next Jodie Foster and the like is finally out there. I think we've had a bit of a barren patch. Like we said, a lot of our sort of favourite actors. Sometimes it's for cool points, and sometimes it's for genuine sort of acting, emotional, immersive kind of abilities. But they're all getting on a bit now and dying off and shit. And there's like a bit of a void. And then there's these kids, like the kind of the cool actors right now, the people making all the money. I don't get it. A lot of them, I'm like, with the exception of a few, like Ryan Gosling, who I really like. I'm kind of like, they all seem a bit generic. They all seem the same as each other, and they don't seem to be doing anything. I don't see anything bad, but not doing anything that really sets me on fire. I'm not writing these names down and like bookmarking their IMDb and going through everything they've ever done, because I do that with people. So I'm not really doing that. But there are some of these younger kids. It's easy because they haven't got much to see yet. But there's definitely a bunch of younger people. So anyway, rambling. I also was looking for charisma, looking for duo, maybe already existing duos, and I went. I don't know if it's inappropriate or not, but I went with a boyfriend and girlfriend team to play this brother and sister duo, because I just thought they'll be comfortable with each other for like the banter and any piss taking or whatever. They should come with an automatic chemistry. Like when you see these two fuckers in, interviews and shit like that, they haven't done a great deal on screen together, like movie TV wise. But when you see them together in interviews and stuff like that, it's like, why aren't people? Maybe they're saying no on purpose because it's like a bit obvious and a bit lame. Like, oh, you want to put us together? Maybe they're avoiding it on purpose. But Kit and Kat, I chose Harley Quinn Smith and her boyfriend Austin Zazure. Not quite sure how you pronounce his name. You won't have seen him in much. He's a really background kind of a guy, but always noticeable at the same time right now. Waiting for that lead role to drop.
Is the Kevin Smith's daughter, the Harley Quinn.
Oh, of course it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was looking into that a bit more.
I briefly dallied with the idea of Letitia Wright. Shuri, Black Panther, but I was like, a little bit old because she's kind of feisty, but kind of fun.
Yeah.
It kind of works. But
she's probably on my list as well.
That's the one where I started thinking about the age. I was like, but is she too old? I don't know. And looking up, finding out she's younger than I thought she was. But in the end, Went with Harley Quinn and Austin.
Very good. Very good.
Excellent.
Right. So let's see. Left to do.
Chitara. And then we've only got Lionel left to do, but we can save him till towards the end.
Okay. My Chitara, years ago, I would have cast what's her face? Rebecca Roman Stamos, but she's now 55 years old, so she was out. So I went with her replacement, Jennifer Lawrence, because she's already a prosthetic actress. So like, yes, you can do that. Yeah, so I've traded in one for the other.
Mystique for Mystique.
But then I did cast Rebecca Roman Stamos as Mandora the Evil Chaser, the intergalactic space cop that appears in random episodes. So she's still got a part in my movie.
Yeah.
I can't Lena Headey.
Yeah,
what was Chitara? No, as
yeah. Oh, good.
No, as Finger Hunter.
Yeah, nice.
No,
Mama.
Yeah. My Chitara is Florence Pugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great. I went with the old lady. I went with Mia Jovovich.
Okay.
If we had an age cutoff point, if that was a thing, then she's gone past it. But the performances that she's putting in definitely belay that age, and I still feel like the badass female hero that isn't seducing her way through the villains or whatever, genuinely just kicking ass.
Yeah.
She's been somewhat typecast as that. Well, she has done other things. She's somewhat typecast and known for being that. But when you are so damn good at it, that's why. And she seems to love it. I've seen interviews and she's like, I don't care. I love doing this shit. It's great. Obviously, trying to let me do as much of my own stunts as possible. And, and she's, she has cosplayed at parties and shit in the past as Chitara. And I'm like, okay.
There you go. It's a look for the camera. That's what you want, isn't it?
Not really that much thought put into it.
Yeah,
really tried that hard. Seemed pretty. It's kind of the obvious choice. I think most of the internet has been fan casting her for some time.
Yeah,
but I like it. I like the idea. I like all three of the ideas.
It does paint a picture of different sort of the different lineups, just a different kind of film you could make just off the idea of Thundercats. Like, cast these actors, throw them in the mix, and you'll get completely different performances. And yeah, it's really, really good. Right, so we've got Lionel left to go, but we're leaving towards the end.
Let's do another triple threat. Let's do Slive, Jackalman, and Monkey.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. So for Monkey, I've gone for Alan Ritchson.
Monkey.
Okay.
For Jackalman, I've gone for Richard Brake. What's his mate?
Oh yeah. It's my guy.
Yeah. The guy that I would cast him as the Joker in my Batman film. And for Sly, now I'm torn between two, so apologies if I mispronounce it. Vincent D'Onofrio.
All right.
Snap. I've got Vincent D'Onofrio as Snarf. I struggled.
David Harbour.
Yeah, I was thinking David Harbour at one point. Yeah. No, I got Vincent D'Onofrio for Snarf because I was looking for somebody imposing. Sly, yeah. He was one.
There we go then.
He was one of the ones that I was proper stumped on,
and
I couldn't think of who's imposing enough and reptilian, and then just come to me as like D'Onofrio. Look at The Cell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not looking at Kingpin at the moment, but yeah, The Cell and Full Metal Jacket. But my Jackalman, I went Walter Goggins.
Oh,
that's good. That's good.
And typecast much, but my Monkey is Toby Kebbell. Kebbell? Is that it?
Yeah.
Kibble, the Kong, Cobra, Duratan from the Warcraft movie, or Anthony from Dead Man's Shoes. Great movie.
So, as Slive and Jackalman, respectively, I'm going with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg.
Okay.
I'm thinking purely on like the character work and interactions, and to round up as a trio and the interactions that they have specifically within that team.
Mm-hmm.
Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Monkey and Mark Hamill.
Okay. See, I did want to cast Mark Hamill. I was thinking, how can I get him in there? I even almost cast him as Jarga. Obviously, Mark Hamill as Jarga would have been brilliant, but no.
Too Jedi-ish then.
Yeah, it's back. That's what I thought.
Sorry, mate.
I went back to J.K. Simmons, but
and that's those guys.
We've only got Spirits of Evil. The voice of the Spirits of Evil. Who would you cast?
The voice of the Spirits of Evil.
I've gone for Hugo Weaving.
Ooh, that's nice. Off the top of my head, Clancy Brown would be my go-to for a scary voice.
That's good choice.
He's great. Yeah. I love him in everything he does, and his voice work is tremendous.
I wanted to you want to pick something. Try and pick something cool. Try and pick something that'll make them go, ooh. But I was like Clancy Brown or Keith David.
Keith David.
It's kind of boring, obvious, but like,
I think that's one of those.
It's what they do and they nail it every time. Why would you look?
I like Keith David as Hordak in Retaliation, the new He-Man stuff. I really enjoyed that. To be fair, the voice acting, though no spoilers. When a certain character turned up, I went, "Hold on, isn't that?" Oh, it is. Okay. I'm awfully confused at what they're doing with this timeline here.
So good conversation for another day.
Agreed.
So that's Clancy Brown with David.
So then I've only got two left, really.
I've only got two left now.
Let me do an honourable mention to our favourite Thundercat figure as children, Mongo, the goat demon. I still have the head. That's all that remains. We found it when we were cleaning out the garage the other year. I found it, Mongo's head, so it's on a shelf with all my D&D stuff. Gonna build an effigy for goblins to worship. But yeah, I went with Josh Brolin as Mongo. He's already shows it to be purple and intimidating, so put some horns on Thanos and we'll call that Mongo.
I'd have gone for Clancy Brown for someone like him because it'd be just be voice acting.
Right. Something we came to the other day when we were talking about Mumra, because obviously there's two halves to Mumra. Are we casting two separate actors, or is it the same actor in both roles? Because I went for two. I went one for Decrepit Mumra and one for Powerhouse Mumra.
So what if it's puppetry and CG and it's just one guy doing voice and there's no because if it's just voice, there's someone I'd cast. If it's then in makeup doing the character, it's somebody else. If it's two actors, it's somebody else doing that bit. So
I went for
a genuinely valid question. One we probably should have discussed behind the scenes.
Well,
but a genuinely valid question.
If it was
bring it up,
voice only,
as that's sending my brain into overdrive, but I'm sticking with my same one guy, regardless of which option we go to. So I'm cool. So if it's two guys, if it's the Mummy and the Ever Living.
Yeah, that's exactly how I've written it down on my sheet. I went for Bill Skarsgård for The Mummy in the Sarcophagus. And then I went for Olivia Richter, the guy who played the arm wrestling guy in Black Widow. He's going to be Major User or whatever. He's going to be he's a big, huge, intimidating guy.
He's a big, huge guy.
Yeah. Put some makeup on and then just have Bill Skarsgård do the voice still, but just have him throwing the actors around.
Because I think this is the thing. I believe it's probably like a union directive in Hollywood. I think you have to have a Skarsgård. Doesn't matter which one, but I think you have to have
cast the other Skarsgård as the big mum
in your movie in order to get the green light to make it. I think one of them has to be in there somewhere. It's union rules, it seems.
Yeah.
Not a criticism at all. I don't mind. Bring him on.
I thought with him creeping around in the dark and stuff, he's already shown as he likes doing now.
So
that was so for the Ever Living version, I cast Joe Manganiello.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I know.
But then for the decrepit version, Gary Oldman.
Another guy.
I'd kind of like Gary Oldman to just do it all entirely himself, and just get a stunt double, just a stunt guy in to do the Ever Living, and just it's Gary Oldman. It would be my choice. Gary
Oldman, as we say, the guy who can do anything anyway. So just leave him do it.
Exactly. Yeah. You would not be disappointed saying Gary is Mum-Ra.
Of all things, it was when he was in Harry Potter. I didn't even know who it were. Everyone was like, "Oh, have you seen Gary Oldman in New Harry Potter?" I'm like, weird. Is he behind Sirius Black?
Yeah.
What? That's not Dracula. Oh, bloody hell, it is.
Gary
it is. And I'm completely blown away.
Who was on my TV screen only last night as I randomly watched True Romance.
Oh, great film.
First time in a while.
Yeah.
Playing a diverse role.
Yeah. Yes, he is. One of my favourite character. He's a bad man in that.
He actually blows away Nick Fury, so like not many people can say they've done that.
Can I just throw away if Mum-Ra was CG and puppetry, and it's just some guy doing the voice only, as a consideration, Digimon Hansu.
Oh yeah.
Just for his voice, I think he could bring something to the table.
Again, he's good in Shazam. We're back at Shazam again, aren't we?
Yeah.
He's a very underrated. I like that movie. I like one of my favourite DC outings. Definitely. To be fair.
Definitely.
Ooh. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, you missed that.
I missed that. I'm going to put a GIF on there, just on bottom.
So I have, as Mum-Ra, the Mummy, the Ever Living, whether I need a voice or a live actor, Mum-Ra is Nicolas Cage.
Oh no!
Yeah, it is for me. If you want to go full Cage, over the top, embrace the cheese, but go for it. Don't shy away from it. I think he could do it.
No.
We have to agree and disagree on that one, bro. I'm afraid.
No.
I'm trying to think. I like him in
The Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like him. I'm not dissing him as an actor, but I see Mum-Ra being a different thing, and I think Nicolas Cage is almost comedic now.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage brings the wrong energy to my scary demon priest. But yeah. No, good.
It was one I struggled with because again, it was like the kind of go-tos, like a Clancy Brown, but is he too old? You know, a Ron Perlman, but is he too old? You know, I was like, who's younger, cooler? Like voice actors, again, I know loads of really cool, growly, aggressive, growly bad guys and shit that just that do this shit for a living, and like any number of them, it'd be great. Trying to find an actor proved really, really difficult, and I ended up with Cage because it was just I was watching cartoon and just thought that it's just the very larger than life, over the top character, the extremes. Someone to pull that off. While it's not a kind of a meek and mild version, he's still when he's the decrepit version. That's only physically, vocally, emotionally, strategically, or whatever. He's on it. He's always Mumm-Ra. It's just a physical transformation, really. But someone who may add a little bit of that, the down versus the in your face, the planning, and then the in your face, I'm going to kill everybody version. There is still a bit of a jump to make in the performance. And I thought, he's crazy. He likes to express himself. I'd like to have him in for the screen test, Let's see what you guys are saying.
Call him in, and we'll see how he tests.
We'll give him a call back. Yeah.
You've got to win these two fuckers over. They don't think they're scary enough. But they don't think Nick motherfucking Cage is scary enough. Scare me, Nick. Go for it. 3, 2, 1, action, and see what he does. I'd like to give him a whirl.
Just the idea of saying, "All right,"
just stands in his eyes up like that. Nick Cage intensifies. But at least Mumm-Ra loves his dog. That was something I always took away. No matter how evil Mumm-Ra is, he loves Marmot. Yeah, he loves Marmot. I was watching an episode last night, and it was just after the movie. So Mumm-Ra had been defeated and he was broken, and he sent Mum Marmot to be him to intimidate the mutants, and it tickled me knowing. But then my question is a curveball for both of you. Would we do the Lunatics or the Lunatacs in the sequel? Who? That's series 3 and onward. No, that's. I've never cast on my face. That's the pirates, isn't it? The weird ones. Red Eye, Tugmug, Chiller. Queen thingy who rides that guy. Yeah, they were really weird character from the weird little dog. That one. Yeah. They came up on episode last night, and I'm like, ooh, I completely forgot about that.
They're pretty twisted, though. Really.
Yeah, they are really
twisted. Put them as live-action characters, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they are grim. Oh, and Alluro is the other one. He's got the voice that just, you do what he says. Yeah. But I cast him as Rob Zombie's other mate with long hair. Otis. Yeah. He was Bill Moseley. Straight away, as soon as he come out at fire and beginning it with rising out at lava with long hair, that's just Otis. That's Bill Moseley right there. Yeah. But other than that, that's all I thought about him, because I thought some people don't even know how in depth these characters go and sort of thing. Like you guys saying earlier, the narrative and everything.
Yeah.
The create whole new freaking villains and stuff.
It did. That is. Watching it back, that's certainly a big thing that impresses me now. That it's just, you kind of write off those 80s cartoons. Transformers is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers brings in, as it rolls on. See what I did there? They bring in more and more character elements and more lore as it continues to be successful. I think as like the Marvel Comics run, I think started to influence the TV show. Like, you can make characters out of these things; they're not just the latest toy. Yeah, the same as the other toy, but in a different color. It's look, another car, fantastic. It can be more than that, and I still believe it can. It's yet to live up to its potential, I think, as a franchise, Transformers, but one day, you never know. I like watching big robots fight.
Yeah, agreed. I'm actually looking forward
to the where they do that. That'd be great. Somebody could just make them fight. I'm
looking forward to the new Transformers film. I think it comes out this year. Have you seen the Gen 1 thing they're doing, Transformers 1, the new animated thing set entirely on Cybertron?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound too impressed. As a Transformers guy.
I'll give it a go. Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime is a huge fucking curveball.
I nearly cast him as Lion-O, but then I thought, no.
You know,
something he has got to.
From what I gather, the main internet casting outside of us three is for Henry Cavill as Lion-O. That seems to be. I don't know if that's just a flavour of the month go-to, but if you kind of Google Thundercats fan casting, it's like Henry Cavill, and I like the guy, but it was never an option for me. It was never on my list.
No, never even, not even in the wheelhouse.
I don't think he'd get the portrayal of Lion-O that I want to see on screen. I don't think he's. Well, I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but I've seen other actors that have got closer to that energy that I want from Lion-O.
Lion-O was the last name, the last one I could fill in. It was the hardest one by far. I wanted, because he's it's kind of a thing that people forget, how he's the child in a man's body.
We thought about that. Yeah.
So because they're living
he's 14, 10 years in suspension capsule, wakes up 24, massive, built like a brick hit house, and but still has the maturity and levels of a teenage boy. Yeah. So
I want to see a movie that makes a point of that leans into that, that plays up to that, and I want to see a performance from an actor that does that.
That is why I found it really easy to cast Lion-O. I found it really easy
on those, like we were saying,
because that's the element energy that I was looking for Lion-O, and I found it very, very easily in my actor that I've casted him. Because, like you say, you need that element of him. It's not just you need someone that looks like this. He's got to be able to play a kid, and that's the thing.
He's the boy king. He looks like he looks like a man. He is the de facto leader, and they do what he says somewhat. But he hasn't had the life experience.
Yeah,
with the body that he's now been given. And the fact that they do reference that and bring that up in
Lion-O spent 10 years in a suspension capsule. Though his body grew, he did not grow up.
There you go.
Something along those lines, said by Tiger.
So looking for someone
so handsome too. Thanks, Shikara. You on heat again?
So looking for a guy that can do the superhero, action hero, badass Lord of the Thundercats, but can also have a certain innocence, naivety, playfulness. You know, scenes where he gets a few things wrong, he's not quite paying attention, he's off doing something that he maybe shouldn't be, maybe he's joyriding the Thunder Tank. Whatever, something like that, and balance that out, make that work. And that was hard. That was hard for me. So that's a big thing.
Well, can I tell you who I cast? Because this guy was the first on my list. I didn't even really have to think about it. And I cast Zachary Levi as Lion-O. Just from seeing Shazam, because Shazam has such I was so impressed with it, and it was partly because of his portrayal of he's got that kid energy, but he looks imposing. You stick a Lion-O film over the top of that and just change his lines a little bit, and I don't think you're far off a Lion-O that I would be happy with.
No, nice. Stu?
Whereas I kind of went that way, but I went for someone who was young, but still older than the kid sort of thing.
Yeah.
Someone who can do, he's got his comedy chops, but he's also ripped and can be a unit at the same time. And people are going to hate me for even saying this, I'm sure. I went for Zac Efron.
Okay.
See what he can do.
He's got some
chops. Yeah, he's got some chops. But he can do his comedy, and he is when he wants to be.
He's a unit.
It's terrifying. Baywatch.
Often Zac Efron often linked to Wolverine.
Oh,
whether anything ever comes to that, but it's often linked.
I don't talk about Wolverine. FANCAST Wolverine is another video altogether. Can't bring myself to talk about it.
As I said, it actually was. I didn't think it'd be a struggle. I actually think, like I said, with the everybody just like Henry Cavill. Not saying that he isn't a good enough actor to do that sort of younger element. I've never really seen him. As Ian said, show that kind of energy with anything. I've really only seen him kind of do dour shit. But he's a great actor, a good guy, an out-and-out geek. But I haven't seen that from him. Maybe this would be the film to pull it out of him, but I haven't seen it, so he's not getting my vote. I did struggle. I looked at a bunch of people. I'd settled, and I really, really fucking love the guy. But as far as Lionel goes, it is settling. It is somewhat writing a name down because I have to bring something to the table. And it's not really, I'm not really throwing this out there as like, you know what, it should be this guy. I can't really spend too much time fighting for it, other than I'm almost, in a lot of ways, ended up casting this guy just because of known quantity of a fantastic, rangy actor.
Okay.
Still, I think, young enough, like younger than some of the other people we've cast as the other nobles, etc. But like Stu said, older, certainly way older than Kit and Kat, etc. So I ended up going with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, could say that.
I could see that.
I love the kid. I kind of, again, sort of like trust the guy. Like with Gary Oldman, somebody else mentioned. It's like
you're in good hands.
Given the opportunity, I'm sure he'd pull something out that we could all get along with. While we might prefer something else, I don't think he'd do something. It doesn't sound instantly wrong. It was one of the names that just sat. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see.
In love with that, but I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Also, to be fair, I think it's another one of those where you'd have to just say, right, come back for a screen test. Let's see your attempt at it. Because as much as we want to see someone do it, they might just go, well, I'm thinking this. And it's like, no, wrong. No, you're going the wrong way with that character. Bring it back this way. You've got to have that back and forth, haven't you, to get it out of them. But yeah, I could see him. Again, like Nicolas Cage, like you said, it's not someone I would have thought of, but it'd be interesting to see what they bring to the table to say, this is my interpretation, my version of the character. Yeah, be good to see.
Well,
Thundercats.
So things kind of like iconic things that we think like have to be, in the movie.
I'd cast a Tumbler from Batman Nolanverse as the Thunder Tank, because I think he's much more suited to that role than the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is it. So the tank. We've got to have the tank, right?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
But the thing for the tank, a lot of the times, they kind of roll out the tank and there's no real reason. It's like you've got 3 mutants of similar kind of size and strength to the bunch of Thundercats causing some trouble. And it's like, let's roll out the fucking tank. Because the window.
We spent 6 months building this. We've got to at least take it out for a drive.
We could just run over and kick their ass, but like we're taking the tank. So I think I'd like to see the tank certainly in a live action movie, but I'd like to see
do a high speed chase with the sky cutters. Have the mutants on the sky cutters, them on the thing down the ravine. The 3 cannons. It's got to be in it. It's got to be some reason they've got it.
Even if you have it as a bit of a story point as well. It's like they used it as part of building Cat's Lair because it's an all-terrain vehicle kind of thing. It had been rough terrain when they first went there. It's a tool, not just a vehicle.
It's initially a tool for excavating and stuff.
It's got big claws for digging
into a fuel tank.
Yeah.
It's just a digger or whatever to start with. And then you're like, well, I put some weapons on.
It's got some JCB cat.
Yeah. Get some sky cutters in.
Yeah, you need that sci-fi element, the vehicles and the tech in it, because that is, even though it's a fantasy film, it's a sci-fi fantasy like He-Man was.
Yeah,
it's sci-fi swords. Yeah, sci-fi fantasies.
Oh, we don't necessarily have to voice cast them, but if it jumps in your head, or you've probably already written it down, but we haven't mentioned the Burbles.
I was going to say, what about side characters? You've got the Burbles, you've got these furry guys with the beards, I forget what they call them, not podlings, but like the bodkins or something. You've got the natives, the women tribe of warriors, the snowman, Bruteman, Snowman, Donnie Yen as Snowman,
Dave Bautista,
and Snow Me Alf, yeah. Lord Lionel is the wrong colour. Not supposed to be blue. When he digs him out on Hook Mountain.
Yeah.
The Tusken Raiders types, the Walrus Tusken Raider, yeah. The Walrus guys. That could have been J.K. Simmons with the moustache. But yeah, I just think about the Burbles because I was going to cast Jack Black as a Burble, but I thought no, because he brings the wrong energy to it. It'd be like ding 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 ding. No, thank you. But I did think about all that.
I think they only need essentially a sort of cameo Easter egg. Like there's the scene where they're there. Just to tick it off the list.
Driving down the road in the Thunder Tank, patting villages. Like, oh look, there's the Burbles. Wave to brother. Then we're going to get some candy fruit because that's what we apex predators now live on. Sweets that grow on trees. There's an abundance of wildlife, and yet we eat apples.
So,
I don't buy that for a second.
So here's the thing. So it's 2024 or 2025. There's a live-action Thundercats movie. Is it? I know you're instantly just going to say it's okay because we're fans. If we can try and put the fandom slightly to one side and try and think about making a movie. Obviously, I think most movies, where they fail is trying to make them appeal to the casual viewer, to try and make all that money instead of going, there are fucking millions of fans, that's more than enough money. Just it can be as niche as you like and it will still make fucking shit tons of money. Having said that, it's 2024, it's live action Thundercats. Do we actually keep the Thundercats? Oh, do we have that happen? Is that a thing, or does that not translate?
I'd say yes.
Yeah,
100%.
I would say yes, 100%. It's
iconic.
Iconic, yeah. But then again, I was thinking about it. Yeah, I can't remember if he ever does. He do it in the 2011 one? Does he ever say Thundercats Ho in that?
I'm not sure. I watched that.
I don't. You never referred. There's something that always. Yeah. There was something always missing from that I found. Oh, it's the fact that none of them have the cat symbols on them. They've all got big red belt buckles, but no cat symbols. That was always what bugged me about that. It's like, what, are they not full Thundercats yet? Is that the next series? Oh, wait, it's cancelled. Oh, okay. I wasn't enjoying it enough.
Yeah. Maybe it was. Maybe it would have been a thing, but we'll never know now.
Exactly.
But
Netflix.
So we can. So we're going to get the whole. If you're going to see this movie, kids, you're going to get
even if it's only once, and we make sure it's spelled out correctly, and it's no diminutive thing towards anybody's thing. Like, we're not talking about hoes. We know there's that joke. Oh, Thundercats ho. Yeah, it's Chitara. No, that's wrong.
I've just wrote the scene in my head of where the Thundercats ho line comes into it. Lino has actually been taken captive, is battered and bruised, and is needing to call for help, and is struggling to say it and to do it properly. That's why he says thunder, thunder. But then that last Thundercats ho is when his eyes pop and his teeth pop, and he's charged up that growl sort of woman, and he shouts from inside Castle Plundor or whatever it is, and you see. You feel that you feel the roar. Yeah, that's it. And it's the Thundercats out, and then it breaks. The other ones, all their ears just prick up and go. They're all. Are you give me goosebumps? Well, that's how it needs to be. And then dun dun dun. And that's when you hear the music. That's when the Thundercats smashes through the wall, and we get that 15-minute version live action of the Thundercats intro of coming to his rescue, mind you. But that's how I would see it. And you could get it in without having to use it.
Do we just have the bat signal when that happens as well? Do we keep that aesthetic, or do we tweak that in any way?
No, I like that. I wouldn't have so much the searchlight, because in my version he's not doing the Sword of Omens thing. He's held captive. It's just him shouting. But
no. I do like
maybe have all the Thundercat symbols glint or gleam.
The laser beam that attracts the cats. Yeah, we get it. Yeah, very clever.
I mean, if he's doing that, he's doing the thing. Like you said, he's captured. He's doing the thing. Yeah. If the sword does the thing, if the sword gets the gets the growth on it and shit like that. If it goes, if you see for Lionel's eyes to glow and shit, and then you cut to the other guys, and theirs do it, and theirs do it, and there's an obvious link there without ever actually having to see the searchlight.
Yeah. It's implied, isn't it?
I mean, I wouldn't.
If you know, you know.
Have any problem. The cat signals. The cat signal. It's iconic. It's what we all know. I don't think it's a problem really to put it in, but I think again, it's the thing I'd probably like to make and then watch back and watch kind of both versions. And because I think it can work. I think you can do it without, but I do think you need to show that connection. You can't just shout shit and they turn up like, oh, they heard him. Really?
Yeah, they've got very good hearing because the cat's in it. You know what I mean?
There's some kind of supernatural magic connection going on.
Even if it's just the Thundercat medallion glows, it glows red. And I mean, it's like I say, it ties it all together. You get that kind of shot where it's sliced into 6 or 5 or whatever. You've got a shot of every one of them, and they all turn at the same point. No matter what they're doing, it's all like I say, calls them to it. That'd be awesome.
And we're having a sight beyond sight moment, of course.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's
not on Chitara in the shower though. It's not Street Fighter the anime. But no. But then again, maybe he would, because he's actually a 14-year-old boy, and what's the first thing he wants to look at? Naked cats, because he's not seen one since he left Thundera.
But they're not naked.
They're not naked.
You said.
Very good.
You can't look at doing sexual objects because they're cats.
But she's cleaning herself in another room and he's watching that.
He's cleaning himself.
Yeah, he's cleaning himself watching stuff. Some kind of binocular moment. And it's just like, so sight beyond sight to something less deviant.
Non-deviant.
Yeah,
It's not a deviant. It's not a deviant.
But it's because it's been around for 40 odd years or whatever. It's become a joke in itself. There are cliches that people will draw and be like, well, that's that and that's that. But no, it all needs to be there because it's there. It's always been there. If you're going to be negative, don't say it. I don't want your dollars, pounds, whatever other currencies are.
I think another great thing about Thundercats, and another thing that make the film great, is they are very much a team. At the end of the day, I mean, there's so many cool characters in Masters of the Universe, but ultimately you just need one. Or really two, because he has to ride in on the cat, and then when he gets off, it's game over. It's fine. It's like Man at Arms, Taylor. You can all sit down now.
Yeah.
Adam's here. Whoops.
He-Man's here.
He-Man's here. Whereas with Thundercats, it's very much a team effort. Every fight is very much a team effort. Watching them grow and stuff, and I think that's not to be like preachy or anything. Just want a badass fantasy action film, but it's still a good message. That isn't necessarily in everything else. So he ain't Captain America. He ain't He-Man. This is a team very much.
The Thundercats. It's not the Lion show. It's the Thundercat show. They've all got the time in the spotlight and character development.
And like you said earlier, the show had such narrative and character development, like you said about Tiger's addiction sort of issues and just the character growth and everything. They're flawed characters. They're not perfect, never make mistakes. Lino makes mistakes every single episode, but that's his character. And they win as a team. Like you said, they're the Thundercats. It's not Lino and the Thundercats, because that's puts him,
puts him on a pedestal that he hasn't. Maybe in the future, it might be Lino and Thundercats because he's then their king and he's earned it, and he's gone through the anointment trials. He's got in the Book of Omens. He's come out of the Book of Omens. 30 years later, if you read the comic books, it's a grim existence, but it's worth a read if you've not read them.
Definitely. So anything else? Anything else we have to see? Any other iconic moments, Lamar? Obviously, the cast layers. We're going to see the cast.
Would we make it
from the outside in all its glory?
No, I was just going to say, are we making it a multi-universe sort of thing? Are we going to get some Silverhawks in a sequel, or Tiger Sharks? Are we going to get the same actors in to play the characters like they did in the cartoon series, where people's roles are just reversed? Tiger's now the leader and Panthero's now this guy, but it's all the same actors, just in different makeup. So then when they all come together, each actor can play a different character from a different team and all be together.
It's super niche, but I'm watching it.
Take my money.
So, not us three, because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Who directs this motherfucker? Who would you? If this is happening, you get the cast list, and it's all the people on your wish list, or a good compromise of the three. List that we have, and we're very happy with that. And then the final piece of the puzzle, Comic-Con, they reveal the Thundercats movie, starring fucking, other people we've just said, will be helmed by who really puts your mind at rest and makes you go, yes!
I've got an answer, but I want to go last. I've got an answer. Just because of earlier work they did during the MCU. I'd go with Russo brothers. I think they'd have a love for the lore and the cartoon. I bet they watched it. I bet they were nerds when we were nerds.
I imagine they did.
But all right. But I'd go with Russo brothers. They handled the Captain America stuff really well, and they did. Was it End? Did they do Endgame? And Infinity War. Yeah. So I go on them. They can put bums in seats and tell the right stories that need to be told. So I go with them. No, I go Rob Zombie. In fact, no. Rob Zombie Thundercats. I'd love that.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. You know what? That's a great call. Because they obviously, as writers too, they can be a huge part of something like that. Purely directorially, I'm trying to think of, like we said, like that age group, somebody who's likely to, even if they weren't the biggest fan, but have that respect for something and be able to understand that and revere that, even if they weren't necessarily. Because getting a dyed in the wool Uber fan isn't necessarily the best idea. Sometimes you might need a bit of distance to make the film work as a film and not just fanboy this shit. Or we'd all be doing it if you could just get away with that. So I'm wondering if I gave Ben Affleck a call. None too shabby directing department.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Oh. See, I wanted to go for Peter Jackson, of all people.
I was thinking Peter Jackson. He's good with the
he's good with source material,
epic creatures, and
you
get where to workshop in.
He's not scared of practical effects. He knows how to work with the tools that he's got to the best of his abilities. So yeah, we'd have to pitch it to all three of them and say, right, who wants to get
on Thundercats movie?
Mm.
Good choices.
Mm. That Ben Affleck's
that's brilliant.
Yeah, another curveball.
Yeah. What game are we playing? Not soccer.
You know, he's a young kid, but you know, I see good things in his future.
He was a bomber, Batman, you know.
He's learning. He's learning. I actually, Affleck, did you bother? You're one of the few people to bother watching Air, the film he and Matt Damon made about Air Jordans.
No, follow it
about sneakers. Only would the fact that it's like just much like Good Will Hunting or The Jewel, which The Jewel was like my film of the year that year. So you know, Ben and Matt, you know, write a film about Air Jordans, something that I wasn't interested in, that I never had a pair, never wanted a pair, but I'm aware of what a big fucking thing it was, and was 10 times bigger than that in the US. And obviously the Michael Jordan story and everything, and only because it's Matt and Ben, I go, okay, you know, I'll give it a whirl, and I'm really enjoying this film about a subject matter I don't fucking give a shit about, but I'm learning a really interesting story. If like, you know, you don't think of Michael Jordan in any way as like the underdog.
No,
you know,
quite it really don't. Yeah, when you think of it,
but the way people around him, his mom, is held out and fought to get things. People who had sight beyond sight to see what Jordan would become, and what they had. It's like watching a good documentary and getting immersed and learning and being educated and going, that's just a good story. You know, we all like that. It's not so much rags to riches, that's too extreme, but it's definitely, you just think of Michael Jordan's just his big thing, like as if he just happened, you know. But there's more to it than that, and everything, and it's just really good and really well acted and well directed and well written, because it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they're good at that. When they clear some pizza boxes out the way and sit down and write something together, it's usually, for me, it's kind of a given. Like, I'm probably going to like that. And they found a way to get me to like something that I'm not even interested in and recommend it to people, that it's worth a watch. So Ben Affleck, another, they said, the younger side, the geek. We know he's a big comic book nerd. I'm sure he's a cartoon fan, and like I said, I'm sure if he's off the top of my head, I don't think I've ever heard him utter the word Thundercats in an interview or anything ever. But until he comes on here with me, nobody's probably going to fucking ask him, but I will.
So Ben, if you're listening,
but so I imagine he's very aware of Thundercats, and I'd give him a go.
Yeah.
Well, we got through that a lot quicker than I expected. I mean, not too much.
What's the next homework assignment?
No real major vetoes except Nick Cage. He can do one, apparently. But it's good stuff. So What else was I going to say? Anything just Thundercat related you want to get off your chest? Anything that always niggles at you? Always, oh, I wish that was better. Oh, I wish they didn't do that. I wish they didn't go there. Or, I mean, nothing.
No, not really. Now, not questioned.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
No, it's the only thing that used to bother me was there were too many cutesy things in it, like the burbles, and I didn't like. If it did a live action version, I'd steer more away from those and make it a little bit grittier.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Was it Robo Bill and the one with the flower in it?
Robo Bell.
Yeah, it's like they would not have a role in my film. No, I'm sorry.
No, fair play.
But,
so yeah, much the same for me. It is at its best when it's the action, when it's the magic, the lore, when you find an ancient tomb, a relic, when there's some otherworldly visitor, be it the evil chaser or whoever. There, even
that bounty hunter with Monocle. I forgot about him. A big gun.
It's all right.
Sorry, Captain.
I'm not sure. Did we mention Hammerhand?
Yeah, we mentioned Hammerhand. I couldn't remember Berserkers. That's what they're called. Cruncher and him with wheel in his chest. He was just an action figure animated, wasn't he? He pulls him back and he goes, "Whee! Look at Charger!" What else does he do? Well, he can't stand up. He's got to remain like that swimming Donatello figure I had as a kid. Couldn't stand. All others were like posed and ready for. Donatello has to lay down all the time because he swims. Just one of those. Yeah, it's a niche. What mission are we at? Are we in the bath? No, the Donatello's out.
Yeah. Donatello's back on bath.
Donatello, you just stay for bath missions. Something I wanted to say. We watched the Marvels the other day. Now that's on Disney Plus, and I wasn't as disappointed as I was with Ant-Man. There was some bits in it that made us go, okay, but generally, we enjoyed it. It was a fun movie.
Fun.
It was fun.
Is the word? It's an action, sci-fi, fun. It's kind of in one ear, out the other. You can just watch it and enjoy it. It's everything.
That's exactly what. That's the mindset we had when we went in. We just watch it.
Big criticism for that movie, which I think is just fake news. It's just all criticism for the sake of criticizing. I think people say, "Oh, but if you haven't watched Captain Marvel, if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, if you haven't watched WandaVision, you've no idea what's going on." Bullshit. It gives you previously in the MCU, it gives you those scenes and even embellishes on them with bits you haven't seen. And
that's the thing. I mean, it's
what you need to know. Do you know the exact origins of Miss Marvel's powers? No. But you're watching a superhero film. Expect powers. And if the powers interest you and you'd like to dig deeper, then you can. But can you not just sit back and go, okay, so she shoots shit out of her hand, right, fine. And just accept that and move on and enjoy the fighting. Because the fight choreography is some of the best we've had in a long time.
I was quite impressed with it, to be honest. When they first started sort of practicing the technique, shall we say, I thought, this is going to look clunky and horrible by the end of it. But no, it was some of those fight scenes towards the end. Yeah, there was some really good choreography there. Really
smooth. It's an interesting little gimmick. It must have been pretty fucking hard to pull off and keep track of, because they do. They don't do it for the sake of it. If you can freeze frame it and fucking watch it back, and it's always she goes in she goes into her goes into she, and it all makes sense. For a crazy concept, the whole entanglement switcheroo thing, but they ground it, they make it work, and it's cool, it's fun. There's the singing planets. I don't know if that's kind of like a dig at Disney, or if they actually thought that was a cool thing. I don't know. I don't mind. It doesn't last too long.
They last long enough.
Yeah. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. He didn't.
I didn't.
So when we watched it, I was like, I know where we are now. Oh, I know what's coming. And he was like, turn it off. Turn it off.
I was ready for bailing out. Now I'm done.
I've had enough.
But they redeemed themselves with cats.
Yeah, the cat bit.
The cats were fantastic. Generally, I really liked those bits with the cats. Yeah, they were really good. But yeah,
it's fun.
It was a good film. You said fun film.
It is, and Samuel L. Jackson. It's the first Nick Fury that isn't really Nick Fury. It's Samuel L. Jackson in this one. You think? I felt like he's almost. I know they're very similar characters, both himself and Nick, but it almost seemed to be not folding it in that bad way an actor does, but almost like he's not really worrying about what would Nick Fury do. He's kind of just falls into that. The cliche that we all know of Samuel L. Jackson that isn't quite what we get from Nick Fury, which is good because he's a fucking actor and he should act. But in this film, I feel like he is just a bit more like, Sam, just do your thing. You know?
Yeah.
There's one line he has where I straight away commented, he's like, he just said shit twice in the same sentence. It's like, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Something else I wanted to say.
Big, evil fucking energy wormhole thing, and I touched it. Why would you touch it? No, not touching shit.
Black girl magic.
Like, that's if you don't enjoy that, what the fuck do you enjoy? It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun film. Anything else you've watched recently? We've done the Thundercats. We'll do. Let's get personal.
I'll tell you what
we'll be doing.
Did watch the
Thundercats back.
I'm going to nip to the toilet. Give me a moment.
Don't be long, because I won't mind going. Something I watched the other day after I saw a comment you made with Ian about the Dragon Ball movie, saying how there was only one. There isn't. There is another one. It's on Amazon at the moment. Yeah. The 1970s Chinese version. It's wire work and all the characters are there. It's not Dragon Ball Z, but it's they're all there and the characters are slightly different for Chinese audience, but the film itself is ridiculous fantasy Chinese wire work martial arts film. It's great.
I love that.
I literally put it on the other day and went, ooh, I've been looking for this since I was like 8-year-old. Since I knew it existed. And it's on Amazon at the moment. Oh. So give that a look. Something like Dragon Pearl or something. Yeah.
I will throw back to you then the X-Men film from the 90s, which is pre Jean-Luc Picard, Hugh Jackman. The one Generation X. Generation X. So
I used to have it on video.
Yeah, Jubilee's a major character. I'd heard of it. I knew about it. I've looked for it various times and failed to find it. But I've found it, watched it. It's very 90s. Very 90s. I'm an old guy. I enjoyed the 90s.
Yeah, that's it. I was there. I was there when that first came out.
I enjoyed the 90s. And it's a TV movie, so the budget's tight.
Yeah. I like the fact that him with the X-ray vision. At one point, he's wearing a Wolverine T-shirt. Yeah. His jacket's open. You can see Wolverine's face on his T-shirt. It's like, ooh, why would Wolverine be on a T-shirt in this universe? What a stupid idea this is.
Yeah. So it's like Jubilee and Banshee. It's
skin.
It is what it is. It's not that
it is what it is. And at least they wear comic accurate costumes at the end.
Yeah.
Let's put him in black.
I thought there were elements. Elements.
Yeah.
Of it that I thought were better than the first Fox X-Men movie by all accounts. For like I said, for source material, portrayal of source material and it correct and shit. They changed what they thought, maybe wrongly, but what they thought they needed to change to make it work cinematically. Some of the characters' powers are kind of...
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
Not quite what is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like Emma Frost.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually pretty cool. Like we'd never get the diamond skin because that would be far too expensive. She seems to suddenly have wind powers, but it's a very cold wind. Yeah, but it's a very, very cold wind, and it makes people stay still. Which, but it's still not a bad effort. They said the costume, the actress, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I expected a lot worse, I must admit.
And the villain in it, he's a great actor. It's Mullock from Watchmen, in it, and Jackal from not Jackal. Yeah. What's his face from Gargoyles? Not Jackal, the other one.
Oh, I know you mean.
The brother. You know the character. I mean, he's good in everything he does. I like him as an actor.
He plays the dad in Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yes, he does.
The guy that gets bitten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else was that? I want to extend you an invite to join our guild on Power World.
So, all right, okay, let's go. Let's do that. You're doing that then.
Yeah,
you play Power World.
We basically have stopped playing Baldur's Gate 3 to play Power World instead. We're really enjoying it.
Is the it wasn't marketed as Pokemon with guns.
I've just got for a while.
Have never ever said that. That's kind of like a thing fans or the media have tried to say. So really, it's a survival crafting base building. MMO really, right?
So it's not really survival as much because other than eating, that's the only survival. It's no sort of like green hell or anything like that. But it's world building, run around, capture wild animals, train them up, very much Pokemon style. There's the towers that you have to go and defeat the boss at. It's not a gym; it's a tower. But yeah, it's really, really good. But there's a nice bit of humour. So, like, do you know the names of some of the creatures and things? It's some of it's very tongue in cheek. Some of it's clearly inspired by Pokemon. But it's a good game. It's a really fun game. It is still in. Obviously, it's not final version. It's still in pre-development beta or whatever they call it, pre-alpha or whatever. But it's a really good game. Come and have a bash, mate. You'll enjoy it.
It was one of those. I saw it. I saw like the shortest trailer. I think maybe 2 years ago or so. I immediately found it on YouTube, sent it to the nephew who was huge Pokemon. If he ever finds himself on hard times, the folders of Pokemon cards that he has, I'm sure he's sitting on like a dragon's hoard of fucking gold. If to the right person. Obviously, all things are on what people are willing to pay for them. But if he strikes when the time is right, if he can bring himself to ever part with them, I'm sure he has. So I was like, "Have you seen this?" I was like, "I fucking have now. What the fuck's this?" You don't know whether to like love it or hate it. As a huge Pokemon fan, then it kind of it disappeared. It went silent for some time, and obviously, coming into its beta test preview, pre-release, whatever form it is now, it was like back with a vengeance. The hype train was fucking all go for this thing, which instantly meant that the hate train was all go for this thing like 5 minutes after it goes live and officially released. I know a few people who've tried it, mixed opinions. Some people I think the whole like Pokemon with guns thing, that's not really what it is it? I don't think.
It's not at all. No.
It's not about, you don't want to become, you're not the chosen one. You're not really trying to train the Pokemon to battle train the monsters or whatever they call them, the creatures to fight other creatures and become the best creature fighter. That isn't the actual premise, is it?
It's an option. You can do that if that's what you want to do, or you can literally just go on there and say, right, I'm going to go and find a spot in the map. I'm going to build my house. I'm going to get some pal friends, and they're going to work the farm, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'll go to the town and I'll sell it. And you could almost Stardew Valley it, where you're just building a farm and it's a farming simulator. you've just got these creatures that you employ the duck to water your plants, you employ the mushroom guy to plant your seeds and things like that, or you build a badass team of flamethrowers, lightning bolt throwing badasses.
Hey, well, we're back. So grown-ass men actually enjoying this Pal World thing.
Yeah, yes. Well, we enjoyed Conan Exiles, Ark, all those other things. I did enjoy Pokemon 22 years ago when the first one came out, and I had my transfer thing for my N64 to play Pokemon Stadium. Challenged all my friends to games of Pokemon Stadium. My Pokemon versus your Pokemon. You don't have any Pokemon, I win. I win by default. I've got 2 Mewtwo's and a Gengar, and there's all these other things. I used to love it. And then this is it's just a game we stuck it on one day, thought we'll give it a go, and realised it wasn't niche we didn't know we wanted.
Yeah. But that sums up very well. It's the game that we needed, but we didn't realise we wanted it.
We've got a few other people playing it with us. We've got a nice freaking town going. Ian's got himself a 5-level freaking huge castle mansion. It's great.
It's really good.
Pals.
Yeah.
Not working for minimum wage. They're not slaves.
Prisoners with jobs.
Prisoners with jobs.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, you could even catch the human adversaries. So we've got
I've got a mercenary.
Night watchman guys walking around with machine guns and stuff. So it looks like a proper.
It's really good.
So prisoners with jobs.
How does the multiplayer work with people who aren't your friends? How at risk is this wonderful mansion from destroying your
private server invite codes? Right. So when Ian starts a game, he gets a code, he sends it out, we put it in menu screen, invite only. At the moment, maybe later,
maybe on full game there might be some player versus player, but at the minute it's just
open servers and stuff. But at the moment, no harassment. Oh yeah, so and so raided your camp at 3 o'clock in the morning because he was on peak time and you were in bed. So you come back and he's been raided. No, none of that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I on the Pokemon trip, I quite recently got the Nexomon games, which are very much again like so close. Like, how are they not getting sued for this shit? These are the old school Pokemon games of the pixel art, top down, like the RPG fights, and it literally is. It's go in the bushes, have a fight, level yourself up so that you're capable of then being able to catch the fuckers, level them up so that they can beat the others, so that you can catch them, find the legendaries. Yeah. But it actually has there's a story and a reason why you're doing what you're doing beyond. It's kind of a fun, somewhat addictive game loop. There's really quite a good story, quite a dark story as well. While you're doing what you're doing, there's a whole the Nexo god that ravaged the earth once upon a time, and that gives birth to the Nexomon that we now live in peace with and stuff. But the Nexo Lord, somebody's trying to resurrect, some evil scientist is trying to resurrect the Nexo Lord. Spoilers, there's some really interesting twists where you're in a video game. It's not real. You're in a video game simulation playing out to try and work out, because it is real. In the sequel, it's real. Turns out at the end of the first game, you were actually in a simulation made by someone to try and work out what the fuck to do, because they found out that someone is indeed trying to resurrect this Nexo Lord. So you think you've defeated him and all that is great, and then the kind of end credit scene is it was all just a dream. Well, it was all just a game, a virtual simulation.
For your actual mission.
Now you've got to go do it. Now play the sequel and go do it for real.
Yeah.
Which
That's cool.
Which was really fucking cool. I was like, wow. And it's just got that old school Pokemon game loop that if you were into that back in the day, you'll get into this. All the same, elemental types, the different like rare up to legendary, godly. So they have the evolutions as well and get stronger. And it's just it is, it's not just Pokemon like, oh, they look like Pal World. Some of these creatures look and maybe have names uncannily similar to Pokemon, and there the similarity ends. It's a completely different kind of game, completely different genre of game, really. Whereas this just is Pokemon, like a cheap Chinese knockoff. This is fucking Pokemon, to all intents and purposes. But they got away with it. They're out there. They're two very well made games if that's what you feel like playing. Budget game. I think you can pick they always bundle them together for like under a tenner, I think, on a regular basis. They're pretty cool. I enjoyed them a lot more than I thought I would. It was like, it's cheap. I'm kind of in between sort of AAA games or whatever, just looking for something to kill a bit of time. Those games that kind of like when something haunts you and you look at it and and you decide no, but it seems to, it's almost as if the font's written 10 times larger than anything else as you're just browsing the store or whatever. Like you keep seeing it, or they keep putting it on sale so that you keep noticing it and shit like that. And eventually you're back down and almost get it just because, seems like good value at that price. Maybe I'll play it a bit, maybe I won't. I'll get round to it, I'm sure I will. But then when you do, you can't fucking put it down. You can't stop. I was really quite just addicted to that old school gameplay loop, and it's really pretty. It's got the pixel art sort of 16-bit sort of style, but with a little bit of a modern tint to it, a little bit better than the old school. But it's in the old school style, not actually going for old school, just going for, it's kind of what you remember. It's the way you remember it in your head, not the way it really looked. So it's actually really cute, kind of pretty, nice bright colors. But a strangely dark story at times. One of the first things that happens, I don't know if it's your mum or your dad that just gets fucking executed right in front of you as playing as a small child, and I'm like, whoa. I could get into this. I'm a sick mofo, so But I'd recommend them for any Pokemon fans. Nexamon, go for it. If Pal World's not quite your thing because it's not Pokemon-y enough, if you're old enough to remember those older Pokemon games and you liked them, then Nexamon would be your bag, definitely.
I like two things.
Yeah. So have we mentioned the Marvels? Have we seen Aquaman 2?
No, I haven't brought myself to do it. I was gonna. You've not seen Aquaman 1, but I was gonna go see it, and then the mate I was gonna go see it with went to see it with somebody else, so I just didn't get around to it. But I'm waiting because I'm a Patrick Wilson fan. I've liked him since Watchmen. Been a fan since then, so he's always been up radar waiting for it. So as soon as it comes to stream somewhere, I'll have it.
It's I actually liked it more than the first one. Personally, I'm not as big on the first one as some people. I like the first one until
Jason Momoa turns up.
Until they do the MacGuffin thing.
Yeah.
Once they get on land in the desert and they're just chasing the MacGuffin, it seems to turn into a very different film. Totally, there's the comedy, which for me fails for the most part of it, and the chemistry with Momoa and Heard isn't quite there for me, and it just. But up to that point, I was loving it. All the Atlantis, the lore, the world building, Willem Dafoe, everything, the whole brother thing, the brother mother, the whole family thing is. I'm sold on it. I'm fucking loving it. And then seriously, they get out the water, and I'm like, it's kind of like start checking your phone a bit, time wondering, and can we get back? And then they kind of pull it back at the end, but there's like a whole it's not really the middle bit. It's kind of like 2/3 of the way through, but it's like a long enough section that just I feel is almost pointless. It doesn't even really need to be there. To do that whole chase, to that, oh, let's go there. Oh, somebody's better to it. It's not here, but there's a clue to the next place. So we got the next place. So we got the next place. So we finally get to where we're supposed to be. It didn't have to be so many steps along the way. You know, they could have almost put in an Indiana Jones map with the red line going to where they are to segue between these scenes or something. But it didn't have the fun and adventure of like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. I just like, it's got this slow trudging bit that they're really trying to hit me over the head with this great comedy duo that isn't. And I kind of, you know, get back to Patrick, get back to Willem, get back under the water and sort this shit out. And when they do, I like it. So with the second movie, except for the huge downside being no Willem Dafoe, it's
longer than it again. Because Dolph Lundgren was there father, wasn't he, in first one?
Yeah.
I like his red wig.
It's weird. He has like more screen time but less lines. So like he's there and there's more. Apparently he's quite pissed off that he thinks he did some good work that got cut.
Right, yeah.
And I can see that being a thing because he is.
Yeah.
You're often sometimes wondering why the fuck is Dolph there? Because the way they've cut it to the final edit, he doesn't need to be there. He's not really serving the scene, the story. He's not moving anything on. He has nothing, no pearls of wisdom to say for or against what's happening. He's just there. You think, he must be there for a reason. There must have originally been a reason why he's kind of stood in this scene, but they decided to leave out the conversation that they had. So he's stood there, either post or pre-conversation. So it's a bit weird in that sense. But it is more just, by the time they finished, apparently, like the whole bunch of edits and reshoots and people didn't like showings and people not liking it and going back to the drawing board and shit like that. I think by the time they finished, you can tell it's had its fair amount of copy and paste done to it to get to this point, but it's still made a much better flowing, just like straight up action movie that just kind of gets the fuck on with it, as opposed to, like I said, my big problem with the original is that adventure bit that I don't find adventure-y. This is just, they just fucking go gung-ho from the outset, pretty much. A bit like the Marvels, but with more serious tones. There's still, a lot of the comedy still doesn't quite land for me either in this one, but it's better. And it's just more of a straight-up action film. And on that, I enjoyed it more. The first one probably is a better movie, more epic scale and all of that. But just to stick on for fun, to watch just, you know, Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, they do have a great chemistry together. They are, when they repeat, when they just about to repeat the same mistake again, chasing the MacGuffin, but it's Patrick and Jason instead. Oh, it's fine. It's fine in the sequel when they do it. They don't take as long to get there, which is great, and they just have a better chemistry. They are really. It's like, do this again. Get these guys out of all this CG shit. Give them some great characters with some niggle between them, but some reason to be together and some reason to maybe get over that and join by the end of it and have the happy ending that we all know is coming, but we want it. To watch them just act that out of the park. Just do what you want. No surprises really, but just do it. I'd actually like to see that. See somebody look at this and go, they work. If you need two leads for that, even if it, you know, the script could be, it could be like a male and female rom-com, but make it a bromance instead. Cast those two instead, and then they'll knock it out the park, and it'll be great. You know. I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. Just more of the just an action, more straight up action flick. More seahorses as well. More riding seahorses. More. in some ways, there's more that's like straight out of the comic book panel. However, like the thing that that people go, oh, that's too cheesy, that doesn't work. As we said, discussing Thundercats, well, does that work in a live action to a 2024 audience or whatever? There are a few things in Aquaman 2, maybe they don't work, but I'm kind of glad as a comic book fan that they went, fuck it. Like, we're just shoving it in. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't affect anything. We're not making a big deal out of it. It's just, it's there. Now it's gone. You know, it's done. But we just wanted to get it. You can tell they just wanted to get it in there, you know? And,
Aquaman's one of them characters that's had had this wrong end of the stick for a while. There was some jokes made about him, like, come out into the water and say that kind of thing, or the costume somebody wears in Big Bang Theory where he's got a pink seahorse, and he's like, yeah, but Aquaman still nails, and he's got great stories. It's just, but people seem to focus on the negative, jokey side of things. It always bugged me. Because, like, I once watched the animated movie Throne of Atlantis with somebody, and he was like, oh, I'm not watching an Aquaman film. He's right lame. He doesn't even do anything. And that opening scene where he's in the bar and he's protecting that lobster from going in pot, and he gets stabbed in the chest and it just bounces off him, and he's just like, wait, is Aquaman bulletproof? I'm like, yeah. He throws that guy out into the sea off a pier, and he's just like, yeah, you don't know anything about Aquaman, do you? Say what other people said on the internet. And he's like, you get the wrong end of the stick. I don't like Jason Momoa as an actor, but, you know, these films are good. I enjoyed the first one. I find Jason Momoa a bit one-noty.
You see, I may not have been like a Momoa fan from way back. I'm not going to claim I loved him in Baywatch or anything. Didn't see that. Genuinely, as a 44-year-old straight white male, never seen an episode of Baywatch. Not one.
I know the intro, but I can't recall ever watching one, sitting down and going like, I'm going to watch Baywatch. Yeah.
Just had like no interest, not even, just for the slow motion running or whatever. It was like, no.
I was already watching anime. I shouldn't have been at that age, so Baywatch never was even on my radar.
But I did really like the Stargate TV shows and the Stargate spin-off, Stargate Atlantis. Funnily enough, which then.
Well, I remember when he was first cast as Conan. Yeah, and that was the only other thing he'd been in at the time, sort of thing. So I looked him up and went, I can kind of see. Yeah, I can see where they're going. And then I watched that film. And I instantly disliked it.
Absolutely fucking badass runner character, Ronan, that he plays in SG-1. He's an absolute fucking beast. Badass. He's got he's not as pretty as he is in a lot of stuff today. The dreads are like really real and natural and kind of a mess, and like this one's like really fucking thick and this one's like kind of thin and all that. He looks like a guy who's just survived by himself on a fucking planet, fighting off vampire bounty hunters for the last fucking decade, right? Which is what he's been doing because he has a tracker in him and they chase him for fucking sport, hoping that when he finds a village willing to take him in and get some rest and sustenance, that these vampires will come and they'll get some rest and sustenance out of this village. So he wants to stay away from people, but you've got to live, you've got to survive. So he's a fucking total badass. But he develops and he's like he's the grunting fucking one word barbarian who develops, starts to develop a personality. He's got to do everything himself. He's the warrior. He doesn't need any help, but we all need help from time to time. And over his story arc in Stargate, as he begins to accept that help, learn to become part of a team and shit like that, I was like, fucking love this dude. And then they go, he's going to be Conan. And you're like, so Ronan is Conan. I'm down with that.
Yeah, I remember reading it.
Big fucking man mountain of a dreadlocked beast of a guy. If you're gonna remake Conan and if you're gonna recast Conan, didn't seem like the worst idea in the world. It's not his fault that the films not the greatest.
No, I haven't said that.
Yeah. It's certainly not his fault. But instantly, as soon as I saw an image, I was like, why'd you get rid of the dreads? It'd have been like even a cooler looking Conan with the dreads, straight away. They fucking shave him and straighten his hair out. I just go, that's really all you needed to know. You didn't need to actually watch the film. So you saw that. If you were aware of Momoa before that, if you were a Stargate fan, it was just like, why are they trying to make Conan pretty anyway in general? And then when you have this guy who seems like it could work, why would you do that? He already has a look that I could accept. You put him in a long cloth and give him a sword, and I'm like, okay, just visually, it's fine. But they didn't do that. And then he's gone on to be fairly like typecast and one note. But I think he's better. I think he's better than what he's getting. Sooner or later, he'll either start taking the indie roles because doesn't need the money, and he'll start to be able to show things and impress people on different levels. I think he's got it in him. I actually think he can. I think in the Fast and Furious, he does things that I never expected him to do. Not that much of a Fast and Furious fan, but for the sake of like almost like a professional obligation now doing this shit. I felt I better get up to speed with something as immersed in pop culture as the Fast and Furious films are. And I watched all 10 over a space of 3 days, which was quite the slog.
I've only seen the first 3, and I called it done there. I mean,
they go up and down, or are essentially all the same. It's fair to say. But then the latest one, 10, Mo's the bad guy, and he's batshit, absolutely batshit bonkers. He's fucking hilarious 1 minute and absolutely psycho the next. Whether he was using that role because it's Fast and Furious and nobody really cares, and you kind of get away with whatever you want. Because watching the performance, it seems like a performance that he gave, not that he was directed to give. It feels like he went, let me try this, and then got away with it, and they kept it. It feels like one of those. Like he had an opportunity to do shit that he's not getting to do with other scripts that come through the letterbox. It's almost worth watching for his performance and go, oh, he can do something else. But how often he'll get to do that, I don't know. That's up to Hollyweird.
We'll have to wait and see.
Hollyweird, man.
But one thing's for sure, he's not going to be Aquaman again. That's done and done. It's kind of a shame. They're 2 decent of the DC movies. They are 2 decent ones, and it's kind of a shame to end like that. But it is what it is. James Gunn doesn't want him. I don't think he wants to do it anyway. I don't think he wants to do Aquaman again. He always wanted to do Lobo apparently anyway, but it seems that that's not happening either. There was rumors that it was, but I don't think it is.
I heard that, I always thought he would. He even said that when he was first cast, he'd do it been a much better Lobo.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting that. He does want that, but I don't think he's getting that. I think we'll see him again. I think he has a good relationship with James Gunn, and I think he's just destined to turn up in a James Gunn movie at some point. And now that the only movies James Gunn's going to make will be DC movies, then Momoa will turn up. Whether it's just a vocal performance to a fucking CG character, but because every chance of that, this is James Gunn. I'm almost surprised he actually cast a human being as Superman, to be blunt. It's a ways away yet to speculate, but we've got most of the major cast announced for Superman Legacy. Are we? Dare we be a little bit hyped for that, or?
I'll be honest, I'm not a Superman fan. Never have been. I always found the Boy Scout a bit one note, and it's never been my appeal. With the exception of DC, Batman, and some of the dark characters, I'm always make my Marvel. To be fair, so Superman movies, I've not ever seen one in cinema. I don't even like the Christopher Reeve ones from when we were kids.
Yeah, it's that whole the DC, the gods and monsters thing. Never quite there. Everybody's OP, like everybody.
Yeah.
So it's just, but we know the good guys will win. We want the fucking good guys to win. And the whole thing is, you put your character in some sort of peril, and the whole thing is, how are they going to win this week, this issue, or whatever? It's not will they. That's never really in question. Let's not kid ourselves. We ever buy into it that much.
We've got 20 minutes. So let's wrap this up. Come on.
Yeah. So
get them a guffin and fix the other thing, and there you go.
Yeah. So I think like a legitimate, God, just the outright, bulletproof solution. You can't kill this motherfucker. Whatever, nothing. It's not. There's no chopping his head off. There's no stake through the heart. There's no setting it on fire. There's no. Oh, there is kryptonite. Okay, so on the one hand he's OP. On the other hand, as long as you can find some kryptonite or synthesize some kryptonite, because that even works, it's actually really fucking easy to kill. And that always wound me up. Like, you kidnap Lois Lane, you tie her to the chair, you gaffer tape some kryptonite under the chair. He comes in, flies in the window to save her, and then falls to his knees in pain and agony. You can now just put two in the back of his head and be rid of him. But you don't. Of course you don't. If you're Lex Luthor, you don't do that. You don't actually kill Superman so easily because you could, because you said you were gonna, but you don't. You've got some kind of big bomb on some kind of 3-day timer, and you're just going to leave and get on a yacht or something. And if she just jiggles about enough on the chair, then the kryptonite falls off, and she just kicks it far enough away. He gets his powers back and saves the day. Like,
no, exactly. That's it.
Never really buy into that, as opposed to, like you say, the more grounded Marvel characters. So I'm a Spider guy. I'm a Spider-Man fan, and that whole, he does have powers, like actual superpowers, like Batman, Iron Man. They don't have powers. They're not super heroes. Spider-Man, I always liked because he's both. He's got the brains. He uses the tech and shit, but not tech on a kind of doesn't always have a spider device handy that just happens to be the thing he just needs at that time. He's got web shooters and that's about it. So a mix of both, and as a kid, that he's a kid, so there's the relating and all that, school problems, girls, all of that, as opposed to Superman, however bumbling you want to make Clark Kent, however many times you want that guy to trip over his own shoelaces or whatever, he's still a big brick shit house of a good-looking dude. Which doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be imbued with like immense confidence or whatever. There's plenty of I know guys that are like super hot and they're super shy, but the girls will come to him. That's why Clark Kent can pull Lois Lane. Yes, she falls for Superman, but when she gets over that, she does. Fall for Clark Kent because you would.
Sees him for who he really is. Yeah, and all that.
And it's but speaking of Superman, but I recently watched the movie. It's the pilot episode, but it's feature length. It's a movie length. It's a good sort of 85-90 minutes. The Dean Cain New Adventures of Superman.
Oh yeah.
Pilot that works as a.
remember that.
Arguably one of the best Superman movies we've got. It's a fun watch within that context that we've both just said we're not overly keen on Superman as a character, the story that's been told over and over and over again. Yet again,
so I do own both versions of the animated Death of Superman. I was just thinking about it. I've got a shelf on my thing. I don't own any Marvel films, DC films, but I own pretty much the entire back catalogue of the animated DC movies. I love those things. Even I remember seeing a 5-box of Superman for a $5, like all 5 films of Superman. It's still in cellophane wrapper, but it's on my shelf. I've never watched it, but I've got it. Yeah.
DC, they've been doing great animation for quite some time. A lot of the time with the DC animated stuff, I'm not always the biggest fan of the art style, but I get caught up with the storytelling and some top-notch voice acting that I get over the art style, which is often, let's do something like whatever the kids are into, whatever the kind of cool of the time art style seems to be. Not like, let's pick an art style that suits the characters or suits the story. It does seem to be like, oh, all the animation these days seems to look like that, and DC seems to go with that, go on that trend. But the stories they've been telling, the Tomorrowverse, that's just finishing with a Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I need to buy them.
Which the first part's out. I haven't seen it because I'm waiting and I'm watching all 3. I'm dying to watch it. I keep trying to scroll past it and find something else because it's like, well, I'm kind of in a superhero mood. What can I watch? Oh, there's that, and it's new, and I haven't seen it. I mean, I know the story. We've all seen the story, read the story. It's been fucking done to death. This version won't really hold any great surprises or whatever, I'm sure, but I do really want to watch it. But I'm trying to have the willpower to wait till all 3 are out. But they've been great.
I know it's out there. I'm gonna go watch it. It's my evening plan then. Some Pal World, and then when Ian has to go to bed for work, I'll stick some DC on.
Yeah. See, good. I did like the Ultimate Avengers. Animated movies back in the day. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got them somewhere. I think I've got them on a flash device. But I enjoyed them. And then they did a few other Marvel-y things, and they were good. But then they just kind of went, no, that's enough. You can have 4. There you go. That's all you get. Like the Punisher Black Widow Confidential one. That's pretty good. I like that.
That is pretty good.
And then I've got an anime collection. It's got X-Men anime, Wolverine anime, and Iron Man versus the Technovore, and something else. I've got that box set. They're really good. But then again, it was a wasted. they did them. I went, that's all you get.
Well, see, what they've done. But the Wolverine's really cool. It's not a visually
massive fan of the build they use, but it's the typical Japanese hero build, isn't it? It looks like
very, very different, but I think they nailed the personality.
The story is there.
Wolverine, everything else is Wolverine exactly what you want. He says what you want him to say. He does what you want him to do in those situations. It just doesn't necessarily look like what you want him to look like.
But then in the X-Men series, he's bang on. You know, he is short, he's hairy, he's ugly, he's mad about everything. You know, but still, great for the character. Hit me! Stop trying to hit me and hit me! when he goes full rage. So that's what Berserker Rage is supposed to look like.
You know what? If we're going to talk Wolverine, and we've mentioned, and we're going to mention Pokemon, I recently rewatched the first Pokemon movie, the Mewtwo.
Pokemon movie. Saw that in the cinema.
Only to
cried my eyes out.
Only to realise after all these years, not being the biggest Pokemon fan, it being more of a thing that was around me than a thing that I really engage with too much. I played more of the games than I watched the cartoon or collected any cards or anything. Only to realize that Mewtwo is in fact Wolverine. Like, I mean, down to the opening scene of this movie is this genetically engineered dude in this tank.
you know, put it like that.
Bred to be the ultimate weapon, who becomes like self-aware and doesn't like the fact that, so you're just going to order me around and expect me to kill shit for you. Fuck you. Breaks out, goes on a kill crazy rampage out of the lab and goes off to try and, live his own life in the wilderness, and really just wants people to leave him the fuck alone while he works out who he is. I was like, holy shit, I'd never joined those dots before.
Yeah, those two people, both on my radar for years, and I've never put them to. Wow, that's good. Good.
Like, it's not even a stretch. You just like that opening scene of that movie is the Weapon X.
He's even got the helmet on.
Yeah, even with the
helmet with the visor,
everything.
Wow.
I was like, wow, because it was two things. I realized that Mewtwo is Wolverine, and after all these years, I finally realized that Pokemon is Pocket Monsters shipped together before shipping words was cool. I didn't even fucking know. I didn't know it was called Pocket Monsters. In Japan, I'd never seen the original.
Me and Ian watched the cartoon, played the game. Never did the cards, but we were. I was probably about, what would it have been? We would have probably been about 18-ish when it got really big in this country. But obviously, I'd already become an anime nut by the time I was 13. So all the Japanese culture and that. So as soon as it came on Sky One or whatever, we were like, yeah, we'll watch Pokemon. That was pretty good. Hooked, got the games. Like, I was then at that age where I was working, so it was N64. I bought myself 2 different Game Boys, every version of the game, my own link-up cable. Played 3 different games to trade Pokemon with myself to get them all evolved up and that, and then I had a super team. Can I have a go? No.
Well, I'm getting the low battery signal, so I'm out of here.
Time, brother. That's all right, mate.
I just got to thank you very much for turning up.
Thank you,
the work and then some. Like I said, know the assignment, kids. Well, let's reconvene and do this again.
Certainly.
With Defenders of the Earth.
Yes. That's also on Amazon if you need to freshen up. I found it on Amazon the other week.
I've got it. And that'll be, again, there's a few that just fly straight in there, and then it is going to take some work. But we'll come back and do that at some point. That's Defenders of the Earth. Yeah. That's kids. That's Flash Gordon, which probably put people off. But like, it's not really Flash Gordon. It's Flash Gordon does the Avengers. Yeah. With a team of people that are all like way cooler than Flash Gordon.
He's got the
Flash Gordon, a high school football player in space.
Spaceman. Yeah.
There's some Flash Gordon fans gonna fucking hate me. But
it's one
of those.
Screaming at you about some purple guy running around in his underpants in freaking jungle. Why is he better than a space? But Phantom is my go-to guy in that team. I love Phantom. Power of 10 tigers, and he's a gingy under his cowl in that cartoon. Yeah. Or is he? Is he blonde and his brothers are ginger? I forget. His brothers that weird.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that next.
Yeah. Okay, brother. You take care, and we'll see you again soon.
So, on that note, as the sun sets slowly in the west, we bid you a fond farewell.
I'll see you soon, guys.
See you later. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was FANCAST the Thundercats with the Parker brothers. If you missed it, we did that ages ago, and then we just descended into talking bollocks, which is pretty much what I do here. But some of you seem to like it. I like it. I had fun, and that's really all that matters. It's all about me. No, so this was fun. I'll be back. I'll be doing a standard Snickcast with a great guest, which I'll pop up a post and be advertising and spamming you with throughout the week. Next Thursday, which we're going to talk about some great things with that dude. It's going to be super fun. Like I say, look out for it. I'll be posting about that. Till next time.